1-0 lead. I'm your host, Ryan Parmenter, and I'm joined by Rishabh Munir. How you doing, Rishabh?
Got a good game lined up for us here, JV Volleyball.
Serving here for Monroe is number 9, Gabriella Grant. Grant preparing to serve. Grant's serve goes directly into the net, and we are quickly tied up 1-1. Now serving for the Union Catholic Vikings is number 12, Caitlin Sinat. Good dig by number 7, Kwitowski. 9 sets it. And number 24, Allison Kearney, hits it directly in the net, and the Vikings take a 2-1 lead. Sinat with the serve here again. Sinat serve, a good one. Dug out by Monroe. Kearney, and she's gonna knock it out of bounds. On the floor for the Vikings is serving number 12, Caitlin Sinat. Number 2, Kylie Kwitowski. As Sinat's serve just tips over the net, and it's good. Number 6, Avery Pacheco. She was just on our broadcast, by the way. Sinat with the serve. And a really good one there as Monroe attempts to dig it out. Tipped. And a double touch here. Number 21 on. Number 8, Chloe Davis. Sinat serve. Dug out by number 5 on Monroe. Kearney. Shot is blocked at the net. 5 just going to send a free ball over. Dug out by Kwitowski. Pacheco. Davis. Good block there by number 2 on Monroe. 7 just going to send a free ball over and falls in front of Sinat. And also on the floor for the Vikings is number 9, Melania Lopez. And serving for Monroe is number 7, Julia Calandro. Calandro serve. A good one. Kwitowski digs it out. Pacheco. 21 just going to send a free ball over. Number 4, Nina Corbesio sends it over. Rotundo. 9 just going to send a free ball over. Pacheco to Davis. Good dig by Monroe. Kearney. Just going to send a free ball over. Sinat just gets it over the net, but falls almost directly out of bounds, and the Vikings have a 4-2 lead against the Falcons. Now serving for Monroe is number 7, Julia Calandro still. Sorry, 5-3 lead for the Vikings. Calandro's serve. Dug out by Lopez. Davis hits it just out of bounds, and on the floor for Monroe is number 5, Danielle Cugini. Number 9, Gabriella Grant. Number 4, Nina Corbisiello. Number 24, Alana Kearney. As number 7, Calandro's serve goes directly in the net. And subbing in for the Vikings is number 7, Charlotte Acosta, for number 21, Eliana Rotundo. And still on the floor for Monroe is number 2, Iman Saidu. And number 24, Allison Kearney. Lacosta serve. Good one over the net.
And she got it.
And a miscommunication between number 4, Nina Corbesello, and number 5, Danielle Cugini. Lacosta coming up with her second serve here. Vikings quickly lead 8-4 here. Lacosta serve hits the net, and that ends the Vikings serving opportunity for now, as they now have an 8-5 lead over the Falcons. And serving is number 5, Danielle Cugini for the Falcons. Cugini's serve. A good one, dug up by Kwitowski to Lacosta. Pacheco sends a free ball over. Kearney Sends a free ball over, dug out by Kwiatkowski. Miscommunication and good free ball there. Sent over by LaCosta, but her foot was just over the line. Now 8-6, Vikings. Quigini's third straight serve coming up. Her serve's a good one. Dug up by Lopez. Set by LaCosta. Davis sends a free ball over. Kearney. And a perfect ball placement there as Kearney gets another point. Bishop, any thoughts so far?
I think the Vikings started off pretty good for him. The Falcons are slowly starting to make their way back.
Quigini's serve. Dug up by Sanat. Saved by LaCosta. And Lopez is just going to send a free ball over. Number 4, perfect placement in front of Sanat, and we quickly have a tie ball game here. Quigini's serve is a good one. And Sanat dives, but is unable to handle the serve as Monroe takes their first lead of this set so far. Currently leading 9-8. Quigini's 6th or 7th consecutive serve coming up here. Dug up by Sanat, and Kwiatkowski is unable to recover. 10-8. You know, Monroe going on a bit of a tear here. Started off, I believe, 8-3 or 8-4, and they're now leading 10-8 over the Vikings. Quigini's 7th serve. Dug out by Kwiatkowski. LaCosta with the set. Pacheco going to send a free ball over. Dug out nicely by number 5. Quigini can send a free ball over. Davis. LaCosta. Pacheco. And a good attempted save by number 5, Danielle Quigini. But the Vikings are able to end Monroe's run. And coming in for Kwiatkowski is number 4, Natalie Bergamato. And the freshman, number 9, Melania Lopez, is serving for the Vikings here. Lopez's serve, a good one, dug out by Quigini. And a miscommunication there, or shall I say a misjudgment of where the ball was by number 9, Gabriella Grant on Monroe's side. We now have a tied up set, 10-10. Lopez coming in for her second serve. It's a good one, dug up by number 7. And Kearney unable to hand the miss hit by number 7, Juliana Calandro. Lopez coming up for her third serve, coming to make it 12-10 Vikings. As the ball was behind the automatic net for basketball. Lopez is coming up for her second serve here. Her serve, it's a good one. Dug out by Calandro. And a miscommunication between Grant and Quigini. Rashad, do you think that Monroe's lack of communication here is going to end up what cost them the game?
Could help them out in the long run, but Lopez has some good serves here. Seeing her consecutively hit 4 or 5 ones deep. And Monroe gives up another point right there. UC up 13-10.
Lopez here coming up for her third serve as Grant just sends a ball just out of bounds on the Viking side. Lopez's third serve. Dug out by Calandro. And Nina Corbisiero sends it out of bounds. Lopez's serve. High serve, dug up by Quigini, and just over the head of number 24, Allison Kearney. And a timeout called by Monroe, as the Vikings have gone on a very, very good run here. They have gone on a 8-0 run in the last 8 points. So, Rashad, do you have any thoughts of why the Vikings are currently having success?
I think Lopez had some good serves going up deep over there. and it's going to come down to just whatever team can make the least amount of mistakes.
I mean, as you said, Lopez has had some really good serves, but the Vikings have also significantly improved their defense from when Monroe went that little 8-2 run earlier, don't you think?
Yep.
Lopez coming back out here for the serve. Her 5th one in the last 5. Lopez's serve. It's a good one. Dug up by Kearney. Hujini. Number 11, Sranya Rachalakada sends it over. Lacosta, Pacheco. And number 4, Nina attempts to send a tip over, but is unable to do so, and it hits the net. Vikings staying with the same set here. Lopez on a absolute dominant run with the serves. Dug out. Kearney. And a good dig by Lacosta. And Lopez and Pacheco have a little bit of miscommunication, but Pacheco hits it. Lacosta just sends a free ball over. Nina sends it over. Good dig by Lacosta. Pacheco going to send a free ball over at 9. Kearney. Lacosta, yet another dig. A really good defensive member here as Sanat going to send a set, and number 4, Berganato sends a free ball over, and the Vikings continue their 10-0 run here. And an integral part to this run here, Rashib, is their server. Number 9, Melania Lopez. She's actually a swing player, and we saw her earlier. We saw her last Friday get some pretty good varsity minutes. That's dug up by number 7, Caladro. 9 just going to send a free ball over. Sanat, Lacosta, Pacheco, and a good dig there by number 9. Kearney going to send another one over. Dug out quickly by Lopez. Some better communication here as Kearney just going to send it out of bounds here as the Vikings continue their 11-0 run. There was a very short period of time where Monroe was leading 10-8, but that lead quickly evaporated, and these Vikings lead has increased as Lopez's next serve is a better one. And a miscommunication and an ace, as Rashab mentioned, between number 5, Danielle Cugini, and number 7, Juliana Calandro, and that is the Falcons' second and final timeout of this set. Do you have any thoughts, Rashab?
Well, obviously they're trying to ice them and slow down the Vikings, but a 10-0 run, like you said, for them, it's hard to stop, and Lopez has been a big factor to that.
I mean, yeah. In all honesty, I think the communication for Monroe has greatly improved. It's just the fact that Lopez's serves have been so dominant. It really shows you as to why Lopez is currently on varsity, don't you think?
Yeah.
As we return from this Monroe timeout, the Vikings are only 5 points away from winning this first set as they are up 20-10. And Lopez's, I believe, 10th consecutive serve coming up here as her serve is yet another good one, and it lands just out of bounds as number 7, Juliana Calandro, watches it fly. Number 24, Allison Kearney, here to take the serve here. Vikings went on a 12-0 run there. Kearney sent it to Sanat. Lopez just going to send a free ball over. Number 4, Nina. And that's blocked by Davis, but a carry is going to be called on number 8, Chloe Davis. Vikings have really stuck with the same lineup here, and I mean, why wouldn't they? It's been absolutely dominant. Kearney's second serve coming up here. And a good serve, and lands just on the line in front of Sanat. Monroe slowly but surely coming back. Now a 7-point deficit here in favor of the Vikings. Kearney's third serve. It's up. Dug out by Sanat. LaCosta. Kearney with the set. LaCosta with the dig. Pacheco. LaCosta sends a free ball. Some good communication here. Quigini. Kearney. Sanat with the set. LaCosta double set. And a good free ball set over there by number 4, Natalie Bergamato. Just going to send a free ball over. Sanat digs it out. Set LaCosta. Davis is unable to tip it over the net. And slowly but surely, the Monroe Falcons are making a comeback here on a quick little 4-0 run. Kearney with the serve. And he's unable to be handled by Sinet. And we are slowly seeing this Viking lead being chipped away as they were up 20-10 at one point. Now they're only up 20-15. Kearney with their 5th serve coming up here. It's a good one, dug out by Sanat. LaCosta. Pacheco is unable to tip it over, and it's now a 4-point lead for the Vikings. Lack of communication really hurting them here. Kearney with her 7th consecutive serve coming up. Sorry, 6th, not 7th. Kearney with the good serve, dug out by Sanat. Bergamato unable to handle the dig by Sanat as the Vikings call a well-needed timeout. What do you think is the key to that run there by Monroe?
I think they've just been staying consistent all the way through, you know, and that's why the Vikings had to take a timeout over there. Leads 20-17. They're still up, but just want to talk things over and get on the same page again.
I mean, to me, it seems like it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same reason as to why the Vikings went on that run. They had both sides had some good serves and some subpar communication, and I think that's kind of what the Vikings called a timeout for. They kind of want to get that communication reset. You know, there's people in place. There's miscommunications all over the place where someone's setting where someone's not supposed to be or someone's digging when there's not supposed to be. And I feel like at this point they're not really ready. It's Kearney's serve coming up. Dug out by Bergamato.
Short.
And it is short as LaCosta is unable to get there. And the Monroe Falcons clawing their way back here, down 10. Now they're only down 2. Score is now 20-18 Vikings. Kearney with her 8th serve, dug out by Sanat. LaCosta to Bergamato. Sends a free ball over. Kearney with the set to number 4, Nina. Lopez digs it out. LaCosta with the set to Chloe Davis. Sends a free ball over. Dug up by Kearney. Cugino. Nina gonna send one out. And right in front of
it.
And right between the seam of Lopez and Sanat, as we are now at a 1-point game between the Vikings and the Falcons after the Vikings were up by 10.
Talking some things over.
And the Vikings going to make some subs here as Sanat comes out for number 20, Ryan Nassara. Kearney with the serve. Hits the net, and Nassara is unable to handle that serve. That's an ace, and we are now tied up after the Vikings were unable to keep control of that 20-10 lead. Kearney with some great serving here. Kearney with the serve. Dug up by Bergamato.
And out.
And it's going to be out of bounds, and the Vikings here are in some serious trouble, Rashub.
They blew a 10-point lead, and now they find themselves down 21-20.
There's a substitution for the Vikings here. Kearney. Nassara. Pacheco. Davis just going to send a free ball over. Kearney with the set. Cugini. Dug up by Lopez. LaCosta. Pacheco. Tipped at the net. Good set by Kearney. Tipped over the line. Davis just going to send a free ball over. Kearney to Nina. And it is just in bounds in front of Nassara as the Falcons take a 2-point lead here with a potential back-breaking run here as the Falcons went on a bigger run, they went on the same run as the Vikings did. Both had a 12-0 run. You know, the Vikings started off really strong. Then the Falcons went on their little 8-2 run. Then the Vikings had an absolute dominant 12-0 run, and now the Falcons are doing the same thing.
Out, coming out of the timeout here, both teams, as Kearney will serve.
Kearney absolutely dominant with their serving here. Sends it to Gerard. And Lacosta is unable to handle the set by Gerards here, as the Vikings are down 3 now, and number 10, Olivia Green, coming in for Nassara.
And Kearney to serve. Dig by Sanat. Lacosta on the assist.
Pacheco.
Got it!
And that ends, or potentially ends, that 13-0 run that Monroe had. That's really a momentum breaker here for the Vikings. At least they can hope.
I got number 8, Chloe Davis, serving for the Vikings.
Davis, serve hits the net, and it's now set point for the Falcons, as the Vikings are unable to hold that big 20-10 lead. Number 4, Nina, for the Falcons here, serving. Nina's serve is up. Handled by Sanat. Lacosta. Pacheco. Blocked at the line. Kearney gonna set. Good dig by Lopez. Lacosta to Gerards. Kearney, number 7. Good dig by Lopez. Lacosta with the set. Pacheco just gonna send a free ball over. Kearney, number 7. Tipped at the line. Lopez with a strong set. Strong kill, and Lacosta with the tip over. Tried to catch him sleeping. Lacosta with the set. And an attempted tipped over by Pacheco as the Vikings lose this first set. Now, what are some takeaways from that first set, Rashid?
Well, honestly, you just got to keep the momentum going if you're the Falcons. But if you got Vikings, you got some things to talk over, get more communication going, and don't worry about the first set. It's over. Focus on the next set.
I mean, yeah. This set was never really particularly close, if you're not. I mean, it was quote-unquote close at times, but it was more dominated by runs and consecutive points rather than more of a back-and-forth kind of what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Vikings had a 12-point run, and then they end up losing the first set 25-21.
I mean, yeah, as you said, they did have a 12-point run, and then immediately after, Monroe went on a 15-1 run. I mean, that is just a ridiculous run there by Monroe, and a great comeback for them as Monroe takes the first set from UC 25-21. We'll be back with the second set. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second set of this Vikings versus Falcon games at home. I'm Ron Parmenter, joined by Rashib Manyer. As Kearney's set was handled well by Sanat and
off here for the Vikings.
And Bergamato with a good point there as the aforementioned Bergamato comes in for number 2, Kylie Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski hasn't really seen much playing action today. Her serve into the net, and we are quickly tied up 1-1 here. And a sub here for Monroe. Coming out is number 1, Erin McManus. For number 6, Gemma DeVito. Aforementioned DeVito with the serve. Rotundo with the dig. Pacheco digs it out, set. Green just gonna send a free ball over. Kearney with the tip over. Green, Pacheco, Lopez. And she hits it out of bounds as Monroe quickly takes a 2-1 lead here. Her second serve, dug up by Lopez. Pacheco, back to Lopez. Tipped at the line. And a tip over by Rotundo. Kearney with the dig. 7 just gonna send a free ball over. Dug up by Sanat, and Pacheco has to yet again send a free ball over. Number 7, dug up by Sanat. Pacheco. Back to Rotundo, and a good point there as it falls in front of the diving number 6, Gemma DeVito. And serving for the Vikings, as we are now tied up 2-2, is number 12.
Just had a sub come in. Chloe Davis comes in for Olivia Green.
And number 12, Caitlin Sanat serving here. Sanat serve, good one. And DeVito with the set here, but Kearney is unable to hand it as it tips off the net. Sanat coming up here for her second serve. Sanat with the serve.
An ace.
An ace as DeVito unable to handle it. Sanat hoping to keep this serving streak alive. This is now her third serve. Sanat with the serve. Good serve. Good dig by DeVito, and number 7, Calandro's just going to send it over. Pacheco to Davis. And a good block by number 2, Iman Saito, but it is not able to be handled by the rest of Monroe's squad as the Vikings take a quick 5-2 lead in this second set. Sanat coming up with her fourth set here as it barely just gets over the net, and Pagini sends it under the net, and Sanat continues her good reign of serving dominance. Sanat's sixth serve here, sends it over. And a good save by Kearney as DeVito has to send it over. Pacheco with the set. Davis, and it lands out of bounds. A good recovery there by Kearney as DeVito sends a nice free ball over, and the Vikings are unable to capitalize off of Monroe's mistakes. And serving for Monroe is number 5, Danielle Quigini. Her serve, dug out by Lopez. Pacheco, back to Lopez, and it lands just out of bounds. Vikings only up 6-4 here. Quigini, second serve going up here, a lefty. Her serve, dug up by Lopez. Pacheco to Rotundo, sends a free ball over, and it is unable to be handled by number 24, Kearney, as the aforementioned Rotundo is being subbed back out for number 7, Charlotte Lacosta. Lacosta had some good serves earlier in the first set, taken out after a little bit while to give her some rest. As her first serve coming up here as the Vikings lead 7-4 over the Falcons. Lacosta's set dug out by Calandro, but was dug out of bounds as Lacosta coming up here for her second set. Sorry, second serve, not second set. We are in the second set. As the Vikings lead 8-4 in this aforementioned second set. Sorry. Lacosta with their serve. Dug up by Kujini. Kearney. And Calandro sends a good free ball over. Right in the middle of where no one was by the back left corner. Now serving here for Monroe here is number 9, Gabriella Grant. First serving opportunity of this second set. Grant with a good serve. Dug up by Sinnott. Patowski to Pacheco. Going to send a free ball over. Good dig by DeVito. And a good tip by Grant as Lopez sends a free ball over. Dug up by Grant. Lopez dug. Set by Lacosta to Pacheco. Good dig by Kajini. Kearney going to send a free ball over. And a good tip by Sinnott. And a good block by number 15. Good rally we got going here is Grant with the set. Patowski, good dig there. Sinnott with the set to Pacheco. Dug up by DeVito. Kearney.
Good rally there by both teams.
Some good defense there, but some just better offense by the Falcons as this is now a 2-point set. Serving again is Gabriella Grant. Grant serve. Dug up by Sinnott. To Lacosta. Lopez tipped by Grant. It's not Grant, sorry. And the tip and the dig by Sinnott is managed to keep alive by Patowski, and Lacosta is unable to keep it in bounds.
Looks like we have a replay of point coming up here for the ball hitting the rim.
And I believe, I know every court is different, but I believe if it hits any part of the rim, it's a redo of the point, no matter what. I mean, because technically that ball, if that net, let's say, isn't there, I know we shouldn't be playing the hypothetical game here, but that if that net is not there, there's a good chance that point is kept alive and sent back over by Lacosta.
Yep.
But instead, Patowski has to rush over to the net and get an off-balance set because of the ricochet off of the rim. If that rim is just not there, good chance that it just doesn't happen. And there's no replay of the point as Monroe keeps that point. Is now a 1-point set. Monroe going on a nice little 4-0 run here.
Here we got the officials talking with the coaches as we
just ironing a few kinks out. And their coach is calling for a drop here. And a replay of the point. I can tell if you are Monroe here, you are not happy as that is now an 8-6 game. Grant serve, dug up by, and it tipped by Sinnott, but unable to handle the serve as that's an ace. Monroe quickly gets their point back. It's still 8-7. Grant with some good serving here. Grant coming up with the serve. Dug up by Sinnott. To the net. Lacosta. Davis just going to send a free ball over. Saved by Lopez. And they're going to call under the net by Lopez. We're now tied 8-8. And you know, Rishabh, this match actually has been dominated by runs. I mean, there's been next to no back and forth as Grant's serve just barely grazed over the net. Dug up by Sinnott to Pacheco, and unable to be saved by Danielle Cugini. And checking in for Patowski is number 4, Natalie Bergamato, as Lopez, the freshman, had a good run of dominance earlier in the first set for her serves. I believe she scored 12 straight serves. Coming up here, and a good serve there. Dug up by Cugini. To Kearney, and it's going to be out of bounds.
If you're the Vikings here, Porn, what are you thinking on the clock?
I mean, I'm hoping that Lopez is just going to be able to be, her dominant self. Again, as I mentioned, she provided some impactful minutes on varsity on Fridays. Her serve is up, dug up by DeVito. Kearney just going to send a free ball over, dug up by Sanat. LaCosta. Pacheco going to send a free ball over, dug up by Kearney. Kearney going to send a free ball over, set by Pacheco. LaCosta set, back to Pacheco, and she's unable to tip it over the net as Vikings went on a quick little run here, as checking in for the Falcons is number 1, Erin McManus, and checking out is number 6, Gemma DeVito. And serving for the Falcons is number 7, Juliana Calandro. Her serve, dug up by Bergamato. LaCosta, Davis, dug out by Grant. Eugenie, Kearney, dug up by Pacheco. LaCosta, Davis, sent a tip over, and number 14, Maya Paulrich, is unable to handle that, as it is a double touch on her.
Vikings got to use this momentum, just keep it going. Got number 12, Kaylin Sinat, subbing out for number 10,
Olivia Green. As Rishabh said, this is a key moment here for the Vikings momentum, as Davis's serve is a good one. McManus, dug up by Davis, set by LaCosta, kind of free ball over by Bergamato. Kearney with the free ball, dug out by Lopez. Bergamato, dug out by number 9, Grant. Eugenie, tipped over by McManus, and a carry is going to be called on Horilch. Rishabh, as you said, this momentum is a key factor. What do you notice from that momentum from the Vikings side on that rally?
See, the Vikings are much more communicated. They're getting the ball quicker, and they're using the momentum each point at a time to get to the next one.
Davis with the serve, and it's going to be out of bounds. And a big line change as number 4 comes in for Parich, Rilch, and number 7, Calandro, coming in for Cugini. And that set by Bergamato is unable to be handled, as this is now a 1-point set currently. Serving is number 4, Nina. Her serve dug up by Pacheco. Tipped at the line by McManus. Kearney to McManus, and kind of shorthands that a bit as the Vikings score yet another point, and Rotundo comes in for LaCosta. Pacheco coming up to serve here. Good serve. And it is unable to be dug up by McManus, and yet another ace for the Vikings here. Pacheco coming up for her second serve here. Her serve, it's a good one. Dug up by McManus to Gugini, as Kearney is unable to handle the out-of-bounds dig by Cugini, as Pacheco is coming in here for her third serve, as the Vikings lead 15-11. Her set, good one. Kearney sends a free ball, dug out by Lopez. Pacheco to Bergamato, and she is unable to handle it, quickly putting an end to that little 4-0 run by the Vikings here. And you know what I've noticed, Rishabh? This is more the back and forth we were talking about in between sets. This set is not being dominated, at least not yet, knock on wood, by the, runs that we saw in that first set, as Kearney's serve.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing both teams give up big chunks of points at a time, and then coming back and trying to fight for it.
Kearney sets it to McManus, and perfect ball placement by number 1, McManus, as a lack of communication there kind of vacates that little pocket of area by the sidelines closest to the stands. Kearney coming up for her second serve here. Her serve hits off the net. The Vikings coming up here with a 16-13 lead. And Patowski checking in for Bergamato here, And Kwiatkowski's going to be serving yet again.
Vikings up 16-13 as Kwiatkowski serves this.
Kwiatkowski with their second serve of the set. It's a good one. Dug up by McManus. Kearney. Virginia just going to send a free ball over. Dug up by Sanat. Pacheco. Rotundo just going to send a little free ball over. Eugenie. Kearney. And it is sent out of bounds by Grant. 17-13 lead here for the Vikings.
As Kwiatkowski will serve for second serve here. Vikings up 17-13. Serve. Nice one there.
Set by Kearney as McManus is just going to attempt to send a free ball over as it hits the net. Vikings hoping to gain some momentum here as they look to close out this set as they're up 18-13. Too early to say anything, but the Vikings have looked significantly better as compared to when they ended on that last half of that first set. Kwiatkowski with the serve. Dug out by Monroe. Grant sends a free ball over, dug out by Kwiatkowski. And Lopez just going to send a free ball over. Kearney to McManus. Dug out by Kwiatkowski yet again. Set by Pacheco to Lopez. Cugini. Kearney. And a good tip over by Grant, but the Vikings are unable to be fooled by that, and Rotundo sends it into the net. And McManus coming out for DeVito. Last time we saw this happen, and yep, it happens again. Last time we saw that DeVito subbing for McManus, McManus served. Sorry, other way around. DeVito served. DeVito served, dug up by Lopez. Kearney just sent a free ball over, dug up by Sanat. Pacheco sends a tip over directly to Cugini. Kearney to Grant as she sends a perfectly placed ball just out of the outreach of Kwiatkowski.
DeVito's serve here as Monroe Falcons trail 15-18.
Monroe chipping away at this lead here. Set by the serve by DeVito. Dug up by Sanat. Pacheco. Rotundo going to send a tip over. Deflected at the net by number 7, Grant. Pacheco. Lopez. Dug out by DeVito nicely. And Vikings score that point as Cugini tries to make a good attempt to save it as Davis coming in for green on the Vikings side here. Vikings up 19-15. Sanat has had a really good serving day and hoping to continue that. Sanat's first serve here. Dug up by DeVito. Sends it over the net to Lopez, and Davis sends a tip. Dug up by Sanat. Pacheco back to Lopez. Lopez hits it just out of bounds as DeVito smartly eats that one. And the Vikings up 19-16 as number 2, Iman Saidu checks out for Maya Parilch. Cugini serving here. Her serve. It's a good one, dug out by Sanat. Pacheco to Rotundo. And a good tip over. Kearney sends a free ball over to Kwiatkowski. Davis, good tip, but blocked by Parilch. Rotundo. Good dig by Cugini. Grant sends a free ball over. Lopez. Oh, good ball placement there. As Calandro is unable to handle that as the Vikings take a 20-16 lead as LaCosta checks in for Rotundo. And, you know, really good shift there by Rotundo. Don't you think there, Richard?
That was a nice play.
You know, she had some good tips, some good ball placements, good sets, good digs. You know, I feel like has been the most impactful player in this second set. Is, you know, a lot of the success that the Vikings have come when she's on. And a good tip over by Davis.
Costa on the serve. Costa with her second serve coming up.
Vikings take a 21-16 lead here, up by 5 points. Vikings looking to close out this second set and bring this and force it to a third overtime set here with Monroe. LaCosta's third serve, dug out by Calandro to Kearney. Back to Calandro, and it hits the net. Vikings up 22-16, slowly but surely increasing this lead to where they can hopefully end this second set and force overtime here. Lacosta with her 4th serve coming up here. Lacosta's serve. It's a good one. Dug out by Calandro to Kearney. Back to Calandro. Dug out by Sinat. And Kwiatkowski's just going to send a free ball over. Dug out by Kajini. Set by Kearney and a tip by Harilch. Set by Lacosta. And a attempted free ball is just hit out of bounds by Pacheco.
Got number 9, Gabriella Grant serving for Monroe. Lacosta to Lopez, gets it over. Kearney tips it, Sinat, nice save. Lacosta.
Back to Pacheco, tipped to the line by Parilch. Kujini, back to Grant. Dug up by Kwiatkowski. Lacosta, Davis, and blocked at the line. Sorry, the net at Parilch. Monroe slowly but surely coming back here as they now make a 6-point deficit to a 4-point deficit as Vikings lead 22-18 here. Grant with the serve. And some miscommunication between Kwiatkowski and Sinat as that's an ace for Grant here. And you know, Rishabh, as I said, this has been a more kind of chippy game instead of this point run dominant set here as compared to the first one.
Yes, it has been. Vikings lead 22-19.
Grant with the serve, dug out by Sinat. Lacosta to Pacheco, sends a free ball over, dug out by Kujini. To Grant, Kearney, dug out by Lacosta. Sinat to Pacheco. And a good save there by Kujini. She's just going to send a free ball over, dug out by Lacosta yet again. Sinnott. Lopez going to send a free ball over. Dug up by DeVito. And Grant's just going to push one out there. Sinnott. Pacheco. Dug up by DeVito. And that dig is unsuccessful as the Vikings take a 23-19 lead as Bergamato is going to check in for Kwiatkowski. Lopez coming up with her 3rd serve of this current set. Again, we saw the aforementioned Lopez with a good run of dominance in that first set, hoping to catch fire here. Lopez, good serve. Miscommunication between number 6, Gemma DeVito, and number 5, Danielle Kujini, as this is currently set point for the Vikings here, looking to force this 3rd overtime set.
1 point. One more point needed by the Vikings as Lopez will serve.
Lopez coming up for her 4th serve here of the second set, 2nd serve of this current serve. Lopez with the serve. It's up. Dug up by Calandro. Grant back to Calandro. Dug up by Lopez. Set by Lacosta. Pacheco. And unable to be handled by Gemma DeVito as the Vikings take this 2nd set and force a overtime 3rd set. This has been a back and forth set as compared to the first one where, again, as I said, it was more of a run. It was more of a point kind of run. It was, you never really saw chip plays. You more saw chunk plays. And that is the 2nd set done as we are now tied up 1-1 here. We'll be back shortly with this 3rd set between the Monroe Falcons and the Union Catholic Vikings for junior varsity volleyball. Stay tuned. Ladies and, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this third and final set of Vikings volleyball here today. Vikings hoping to make a clean sweep of both the varsity and JV teams, as this is the third and final set of the day, as the varsity team already won 2-0, and JV looking to make it 2-1 here.
Like you said, Plum, it's all tied up 1-1 set for each team. It's anyone's game now. Third set, clean slate for both teams, as Kwiatkowski will serve here to get us started in the third and final set.
Same lineup has been here for the last few points. Kwiatkowski serving here. Kwiatkowski with a good serve. Dug out by Grant. Calandro, sorry. Back to Grant. Sent it with the set to Lopez. Dug up by Nina. Grant. Kearney. Blocked by Green, but unable to be handled by the Vikings. And the aforementioned Kearney serving here. Winning a good little 8-0 run in the first and second set. Kearney with the serve. Dug up by Lopez. To Pacheco. To Rotundo. And hits the net as Monroe takes a quick 2-0 lead in this third and final set of the day. Kearney. Second serve coming up here. Dug up by Sinnott. Pacheco. To Rotundo. Going to send a free ball over, and it is mishandled by Kearney. Vikings get their first point of the set. As Chloe Davis checks in for number 10, Olivia Green. Sinnott, really good serving here today, hoping to continue that into the third set. Sinnott with the serve. It's a good one. Dug up by Calandro. Mishandled by Kearney, as this set is quickly tied 2-2 here.
Here come the Vikings.
Now we take on the Minnesota or the Union Catholic? Sinnott. Dug up by Grant. And a good dig there by Pacheco, as it is tipped to the line at the net by Saidu. Blocked by Rotundo, and a tip there by Davis. As I believe that they're going to call, as I believe they're going to say Davis. Davis's hand was over the net, as number 4 Nina checks out for number 1 Erin McManus, and serving is number 7 Julia Calandro. Her serve, it's a good one. Dug out by Lopez, and a somewhat poor dig by Lopez, but Pacheco is almost able to save it, but Lopez isn't able to handle it, as the Falcons take a quick 4-2 lead here. Calandro's second serve, dug up by Kwiatkowski. Pacheco to Davis. Davis hits it out of bounds.
We got colored, so serving again.
Dug up by Sinnott. Pacheco. To Rotundo, just going to send a free ball over. Dug up by Grant. Kearney. Back to Grant. Good save by LaCosta, as Sinnott's just going to send a free ball over. Dug up by Cugini. And a good block by Davis. Saved by Cugini. Sinnott digs out. Pacheco, good dump off there, as it's a great rally by both teams. Some good saves there by the Falcons, but just better offense there by the Vikings, as LaCosta checks in for Rotundo.
LaCosta to serve. Vikings down 3-5 early in the third.
LaCosta coming up for her first action here of this young set. LaCosta serve. Dug up by Cugini. Kearney. And a poor set, by Kearney, as the Vikings crawling ever so close to tying this set back up, as they are led 5-4 by the Falcons here. LaCosta's second serve coming up. LaCosta's serve. Good one. Dug up by McManus, and it is unable to be handled, as Kearney misjudged the distance of the net and where that ball was going to land. Vikings are now tied 5-5 as LaCosta takes her third consecutive serve here. LaCosta getting ready for the serve. Her serve, it's good. Dug up by Kajini. Kearney. Grant tipped at the net by Lopez, and an attempted diving save by LaCosta. Unable to save it as Monroe takes a 6-5 lead as number 11, Sravia Rachalakadi, checks in for number 2, Iman Sadhu. Dug up by Sinet. And a good dump off by LaCosta. Kearney with the set. And it is hit in the net by Calandro, as this has now been a more back and forth kind of game as number 11, Sarah Gerards, checks in for number 2, Kylie Kwiatkowski. Lopez coming up with the serve here, had a good run at the end of the second set. Lopez, dug up by Kajini. Kearney. McManus, and is unable to be handled by Sinnott. Again, Rish, more of a back and forth kind of set as compared to the first one. Second and third sets have felt more of a back and forth kind of game.
It has, and now it's the third set, the deciding factor, as Monroe will serve. Just
Grant,
off of the net.
her serve hits the net, and it hits the net just enough to where it kills the serve, and Monroe kind of going on a little bit of a run here. Up 8-6. Her serve. Handled by Sinnott. LaCosta.
Gerards.
Sends a free ball over. Dug up by McManus. And a good dump off by Grant there. Davis going to send a free ball. And a miscommunication there by Kearney and number 11, Sravia. That could potentially be a big momentum shifter as Sinnott comes out for green here.
Got Davis serving. Vikings down 7-8. Davis to serve.
And her serve just catches enough of the net to where it kills it and is unable to go over. As McManus comes out for, number 4, Nina, and Sinnott checks back in for green. Not green, sorry. The serve by number 4. Dug up by Lopez. Good save by Gerards as LaCosta with a good set. Tipped at the line by Sravia and Pacheco, but Pacheco is able to get to that point as LaCosta coming out for Rotundo here. And the aforementioned Pacheco coming to the line here, hoping to take a good momentum shift by the Vikings here. Pacheco's first serve off the net, and that's something the Vikings I feel like have really struggled with recently, haven't they, Rich? They've been struggling to get over the net.
Just got to focus on the next play and keep the game going.
And making a double substitution here as Saidu and Grant both check in for Sravia and McManus. DeVito's set. Set by Lopez. Pacheco to Rotundo, and a good hit there. Dug up by Grant. Calandro. Kearney. Dug up by Lopez, and just hit, unfortunately, right where nobody was, as the Falcons increase their lead here. DeVito's serve. And unable to be handled by Green as the Vikings are down 4, 12-8 Falcons. Falcons slowly pulling away here.
DeVito to serve. Sinat with the dig.
Pacheco with the set. Rotundo. Dug up by Nina. DeVito. Nina just going to send a free ball over. Dug up by Lopez. Pacheco. To Rotundo. Dug up by Nina yet again. Grant. Kearney. Blocked at the line. Tipped by Green. Saved by Rotundo. Grant with the save. And Saidu with the free ball. Pacheco. Green. Saved by Nina. Grant. And Calandro hits it just out of bounds as it's 12-9 Vikings as DeVito checks out for Sravia.
On the Viking side, got Kwiatkowski checking in for Gerards.
And
Vikings trail 9-12 as Kwiatkowski will serve.
And Kujini checking in for Stravia as Kwiatkowski coming up to serve here. Kwiatkowski with the good serve. And a
Serve, what an
almost
ace.
attempted save by Cugini, but no one was there, unfortunately, as that dig hits the net, and the Vikings slowly but surely chipping their way back into this game.
One play at a time. That's all they got to do. Take it one play at a time.
Kwiatkowski, Nina, Grant, Calandro tipped at the net. Pacheco with a good dump off, handled there by Saidu, and a good save by Kearney. Rotundo, and it hits the net. Monroe keeping their lead at 2 here. Kearney coming up to serve yet again, and I feel like she's been here every single time that Monroe has gone a bit of a run, so let's see here. Dug up by Kwiatkowski. Saved by Sinnott, and it just hits the net, and it goes next to our broadcasting booth. Saved by our good cameraman, Ben Palacio.
Kearney to serve again here for Monroe.
As I was saying, Rish, every single time that I've seen Monroe go on a really big run here, Kearney's been serving. Kearney with the serve, dug up by Lopez. Pacheco sends it back to Lopez. Lopez blocked at the line by Saidu. Good save by Kearney. Grant, Calandro, Sinnott, Pacheco, Rotundo. And it is knocked out of bounds and almost goes in the net by Kearney. If I'm the Vikings, I'm kind of mad there that it doesn't go in the net.
And they call a redo. A redo of play.
They're calling a redo of play, and I believe I did hear, in fact, that the Vikings were complaining about 4 touches on a play. If I'm the Vikings here, I'm upset. That's a scored. That should be a scored point, but
Kearney to serve again.
dug up by Sinnott. Pacheco to Rotundo, going to send a little dump off there. Kearney to Grant. Blocked by Green. Davis checking in for the aforementioned Green here. Green playing some really solid defense in this 3rd and final set. Sinnott coming here to serve. She's done a really phenomenal job this entire match of serving. Sinnott, good serve there, dug up by Cugini. Kearney, back to Cugini, dug up by Sinnott. Pacheco to Davis, tipped the line by Saidu. Kearney,
And hit the line.
and they're gonna call a double touch there.
Vikings starting to come away here with a point by point. They trail 13-14 as Sinnott will serve. Sinnott to serve.
Kearney, back to Calandro is unable to be retained as Nina checks back out, as McManus checks back in for Nina. Aforementioned Juliana Calandro coming up to serve here for the Falcons. Good serve there. Handled by Lopez. Pacheco to Rotundo. Handled by Calandro. Kearney. Tipped by Davis as McManus is able to get that just over the net.
Still a
16-13 Falcons. Calandro coming up to serve here. Her serve, it's up, it's good. Dug up by Kwiatkowski. Pacheco to Lopez. Blocked by Saidu. Good dig by Kwiatkowski and a good free ball sent over by Sinnott. And a good rally there, but Falcons kind of showing why they're so dominant here late in this set as Vikings call a much needed timeout as the Falcons take a 17-13 lead. And, Rish, I've seen a lot of dominant serving here by the Falcons. When the Vikings are able to get in the groove, the Falcons serving is, kind of off.
Can't let them get in the groove. If you're the Vikings right now, you got to take it 1 point at a time, communicate. This is still a ball game and very much doable to get this game win.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned it's a ball game. It's only a 4-point lead for the Falcons. If you're the Vikings, you're kind of hoping to claw back. A bit of a lack of communication there at the second in this last few points by the Vikings. But if you're the Vikings, you're kind of looking to shake that out of your head, trying to come back here.
Vikings coming back in with some energy.
Vikings rolling with the same lineup here. Calandro with the serve here yet again. Her serve. It's a good one. Dug out by Kwiatkowski. Pacheco to Rotundo. Free ball. Dug out by Calandro. Kearney to Grant. Dug by Pacheco. Blocked by Saidu at the net. Pacheco to Rotundo. And she's just going to tip it, and it's out of bounds. Monroe a 5-point lead here. Calandro with the serve. Mishandled by Sinnott, and that's a 6-point lead for the Falcons. Calandro with her 4th serve coming up here. Her serve, it's a good one. Handled well by Kwiatkowski. Pacheco to Davis. Hit the line by Saidu. Kwiatkowski. Pacheco, dump off. Good one there.
Nice
Good dump off there by Pacheco's. Keeping this lead to only 5 as LaCosta checks in for Rotundo. And LaCosta, something we've seen a lot this match is that whenever she checks in for Rotundo, she is going to be serving. LaCosta coming up with the serve here.
Need some big serves here.
LaCosta, good serve. Dug up by Cugini. Kearney to McManus. Dug up by Kwiatkowski. LaCosta. Sinnott, and that's going to be a 4-touch as Monroe makes this a 6-point game between the two teams.
Vikings down 14-20 as number 5 for Monroe serves.
Sravia checking in for number 2, Iman Saidu. Cugini's serve. Dug by Sinnott. LaCosta. Lopez sends a free ball over. Cugini. Kearney. Sravia. And it lands just on the line, making this a 6 now to a 7-point game.
And another timeout here by the Vikings.
As the Vikings' final timeout of this match is called. You know, Rish, what do you think they really need to work on here?
I think just keeping up with the key communications, not giving up easy points. Just keep yourselves in the game. Fight back. 7-point game, still very achievable.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned that this is still an achievable, game, but again, this Vikings team has really lacked the communication, especially in especially in both second half of the sets. You almost saw, not both sets actually, all sets. You actually, a big reason as to why that kind of big lead was blown in the first set was the fact that there was just a lack of communication. And that's kind of something that the Vikings have really struggled with, while Monroe has struggled with throughout this match. They've been able to rectify that issue. With the set, dug by Sinnott. LaCosta to Lopez. Dug out by Calandro. Calandro set by Kearney as her serve hits the net, and Kwiatkowski checking out for Gerards.
Got to keep the momentum going here as Lopez will serve for the Vikings. They trail 15-21 in the third.
You know, Gunn definitely pointed at the earth. I want Lopez serving. Speaking of which, her serve dug out nicely by.
Oh, Davis couldn't get it at the grip.
Dug out nicely by Calandro, and as Rish said, unable to be handled well by Davis. As Grant coming up to line here to serve. 22-15. Grant serve, good one. Dug out by Sinnott, and a good dump off by Sravia. It's now a 2-point. Until match point for the Falcons. Grant coming up to serve here. Grant serve. Dug up by Sinnott. LaCosta to Pacheco. And off the ceiling by Calandro is kind of shot away from that ball her teammates did. Checking in for the Vikings is number 10, Olivia Green. Checking out is number 12, Kaylin Sinnott.
Vikings need momentum here as Davis will serve.
Davis with the serve here. That's a good one, handled by Cugini. Grant, Kearney, dug up by Davis. And unable to be handled by Lopez as this is now becoming match point upcoming here, or potentially.
Sinnott checking back in for Davis.
This is potentially match point is number 4, Nina Caballero checking in. Her serve, good one, handled by Sinnott. Lopez, La Costa gonna send a free ball over. Handled by Stravia. Grant. Calandro. Lopez. La Costa. Gerards, and it is blocked by number 24, Allison Kearney, as that is going to end this Vikings match between the Monroe Falcons and the Union Catholic Vikings, as Monroe wins 2-1, and their final set, they win 25-15. My name is Ryan Parmenter. This is Rashid Manier, and we'll be back Thursday with either girls soccer against, I don't know, or we'll be here, depending on the weather, against both JV and varsity volleyball against Summit. See you Thursday. I'm Ron Parmenter.